Hello, this is Mrs. Neubauer, and let's work on our penmanship. So, what letter is the laziest one in the alphabet? The letter E. It's always in bed. All right, lesson goal number 25 today is to learn how to write with no center line. Okay, so to show you what I mean by no center line, you can see we have the word apple. Now, we don't have our dashed center line, but once you write the letter A, remember that letter A is halfway with our center line, you're going to use that to be the top of the line to write your P, and then the P, you're going to look at your P next to it and do the next one, and then your L, of course your L uses both, so you go all the way up, and then the E is going to have to look back at the P. So basically, you have this imaginary pink line, as we call it, where you're writing along. So if I was going to write another letter next to E, I would continue like apples at an S. I would have to look, see where the E ends, and then I have my S. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today, and we'll get started. Okay, so make sure you have printed off number 25A medium line paper practice. We also have 25B and 25C. So we're going to work with the medium line first. So you can see we're going to work through animals again. And basically we're going to use the top line and bottom line, but no center line. So just like we've been doing, you can trace the word and then try one on your own. So we're actually not going to trace the word. You can do that on your own, and I'm going to start actually writing armadillo next to it. So give yourself some space, and then of course the capital goes all the way to the top. So the capital letter isn't going to change with our no center line. Now you want to make sure you're going to go up a little bit of the center for the R and then down. And then I'm going to stop for a second, and basically that is going to be our center line. So I put a little dots there just to show you, but you're going to look back at your M and look back at your R to do your M. So I'm going to continue on. So I'm just going to trace over my line. So when I get to the top, I'm going to do my curve and then come down for my M, come down, and then I have my under curve. Okay. Now for my A, I'm going to come up and I'm going to look to the left and see that top of the M and try to write the top of my A at the same spot. Now I have the letter D, so I'm going to do the same thing. When I come up, I'm going to look at the letter A to do the top of my D. And then remember that D goes all the way from the top to the bottom. And my letter I comes up to the midpoint, yep, to the center. Come back down, and my L goes all the way up. My loop letter L, double L, and my O goes up to the center. So for O, I have to look all the way back at my I, see where that's about, and stay within that range. Now this seems like it's going to take a long time to get used to writing like this, but you kind of as you write more and more words, you just kind of have to look back and forward, look back and forward, look back and forward. Okay, so let's try bird. Capital letter B, all the way from the top to the bottom. All right, touch the back. Okay, so the nice thing about some capitals is they do use that center, so that would be my center from where I'm going to stop with my I. So I'm going to come over, have my I, come back down. And remember, my R goes a little bit above the center line, and then it comes down. And then my D, I'm going to use that R to the left to see my D. I know this is your second word without a center line, so I'm hoping it's a little bit better than the first one. Okay. Let's see, what's more of a challenging word on this page? I guess let's try gecko. All right, so you're going to work through all of the words, but we're just going to do a few on this page and then we'll work on our next size. So Capital G goes all the way to the top, touches the bottom. Now with the G, I said this before, you can have it go all the way through and you can start your E. So we don't have a middle line. You kind of have to look and see, okay, that looks like it's the center. And then my C, once you have that E established, your C, look back at your E. My K goes all the way up. And my O. So that second part, I'm looking at my C, and now I'm going to look at my K to do my O. So basically you keep looking back a little bit to make the next letter. Okay, so that's our medium line. And then we're going to do small. And if the medium is challenging enough, then stay on that for a little while. Otherwise, you can work on the next one. So we have famous people's first names. Mostly they're all first names. And then it's small. So the same thing, you can trace over and then try some on your own. So let's see what would be a good one. Let's see. Ooh, how about Einstein? Einstein looks like there's lots of stuff going on there. Okay, so you're gonna work through. I'm just gonna go over Einstein together on our video. So you're gonna have your capital E, and that's nice because the capital E is gonna use that center. So when I do my I, I'm gonna look back at the middle of my E. And then when I go on to my N, I'm going to look back at my I. When I go to my S, I'm going to look at my N, go a little bit above and down. And then I'm going to look at my S when I do my T. And then remember, the top of the T goes in a little bit in the middle above the center line between that space. My E, I have to remember that I don't go all the way back up to the top where my T was. I look at my E, and then my N, I look at my I. So you're always looking back at your left side to the letter to see the line. All right, not too bad. You can go through, and then let's see. The last one is your wide rule. So we'll have flower names. So you think you're good, you did the medium, you did the small, you're feeling pretty confident. You might want to take a little break or maybe try this on a different day. You can try the wide ruled paper. So let's see, what's a good one here? Ooh, Delilah looks like it'd be kind of challenging. Okay, so let's try Delilah. So our D doesn't use that middle. So remember, we start at the top, we do our little curve back. And our D has a little loop at the top and end. Okay, so I don't have a middle. So for my A, that's going to be my first one I'm going to start. I have my middle all the way down. Okay, now I have an H. So my H goes all the way back to the top. But the second part of my H is I'm going to look at that A and make sure I have it at the right level at the non-center line, I guess. My L goes all the way up to the top. And now my I have to look back at my H to see the middle. And then I have my A looking back at my I. Yeah, okay. So all these different words, all this challenging for you. Hopefully it's not too challenging and you're at this. This is why we have our advanced cursive classes to help with getting better at writing without lines. Okay, so there's lots of words for you to work on, and I'll switch cameras here. Okay, so this is definitely an advanced lesson number 25. We're getting closer to the end. We took away that center dash line, so it's like you started all over again, having to write your cursive. I know you have a good foundation of your letters because you've done so many letters, so many words and sentences. So just keep on practicing. If you need to redo one, print off another worksheet. And remember, progress over perfection. I'll see you next time.